Hi, I'm Ann Fields, founder of Peaceful Poses Kids Yoga. We are a traveling kids yoga business where we travel to preschools, daycares, public and private schools, and youth organizations. The class I have for you today is called Sign Language Yoga. It is all the sign language for all the yoga poses that I put into this class. I use this during my winter session for all the daycares that I travel to and my team travels to. It's a wonderful way to learn ASL, American Sign Language. It's a good way to get through a whole yoga class. I don't know all of sign language, but I know enough to get through a yoga class. And the reason is, yoga is for every body, every single body, B-O-D-Y. And with that said, when you're working with children, you may have some children that need to use sign language. And I think it's a great way also to create empathy with other kids, to learn something, a way to communicate a completely different way. There's several websites out there that you can visit to learn more ASL, but this is enough to kind of get you through a yoga class, and then you can expand on it from there. My little liability form that I always have to say is, kids, if you're not at your 18th birthday, you should get permission from a parent or guardian before you do any of the poses in this video. Parents and guardians, the poses in this video do involve movement, physical activity, and maintaining a pose or posture, which may cause physical injury or other medical issues. And parents and guardians, you should also consult a physician before your child performs activities in this video. With that said, let's get started. So I like to always start my classes with a nice grounding breath. So I'm in my crisscross applesauce, and I'm going to move back a little bit so we can see. I'm learning how to do this as I go. And I have some music for you as well in the background. And so when we're in our crisscross applesauce, just like this, our hands go on our knees and our spine grows tall. So our belly button is in a little bit, just enough. We can still breathe. We have to be able to sit tall, which is really important for many, many things. But today, let's just know that we need to sit tall. So we're going to ground ourselves on our mat. So this is where we try our best to sit still. And I know sometimes that's really hard, but let's give it a try. I have my breathing ball here with me, and that always helps us take some deep breaths. So let's try 3 deep breaths where we breathe in through our nose and breathe out through our nose. And again, we're breathing in and breathing out. And let's do one more. Breathing in and breathing out. Very good. I'm going to set my breathing ball down. And so the sign language for breathing, so our hands go wide, breathe. So here's our breathe. And we took some nice deep breaths. Let's do a couple more. So take our hands to peace pose, and then our fingers open just like this. And let's try a couple more breaths. We breathe in, pressing those fingertips together, and then breathing out. And let's do 2 more. Breathing in and breathing out. Maybe 1 more. Breathing in and breathing out. So now we take our hands and make them fists. They go together, and this is sign language for stretch. So we must stretch. It's very important to stretch. So our legs go straight out in front of us, and my toes are, my heels are on the floor, and I'm sitting tall, and I reach for my knees, and then I reach for my shins, and then maybe I reach for my toes. Some people can touch them, some people can't, and if you can't, that's okay. We're all different, and yoga is not about pain. So if you're in pain, you always back off. We take care of ourselves, and we honor our body. So let's do it again. Let's do it with bigger words. I always tickle my patella, which is my kneecap, and then I tickle my tibia, which is my shin. When I tickle my toes, I'm tickling my metatarsals. And then my hands go by beside it, and this is our fibula. And then we sit up tall and I pat my femur. Very good. That was a great stretch, everyone. So here's our stretch. So the next pose that we're going to do, we take our thumbs together, and actually we can go this way. As you can guess, this might be butterfly. Now little ones have a little bit of trouble connecting them, so I make it easier sometimes and do butterfly this way, just so they feel successful. So for butterfly, my cues as usual are our peanut butter is on one foot, or sun butter, and jelly is on the other, and we're squishing our feet together for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Our hands go on our ankles and our spine grows tall. So here's our butterfly pose. Very good. In our butterfly pose, we can make our wings fly, and I always say our wings are our favorite colors, because when we think of our favorite color, it makes us smile, and it makes us feel nice and warm inside. And most of the children that I teach know my favorite color, which is hot pink glitter. That is definitely my favorite color. So the next pose that we're moving into is called flower pose. This is a kids yoga pose. So you take your hand with like a cup, and you're going to go across your nose. Flower. So that's the sign language for flower. Our hands go inside our butterfly wings. They creepy crawly out underneath. So here is flower pose. So if you're little, if you're 3, maybe 4, this is a really good start on flower pose. If you're a little bit older, or definitely if you're in grade school, we can lift those legs up using those strong belly muscles, and here is our flower pose here. Very good. I love flower pose. It's one of my favorite poses. And then from here, we gently take our feet down and our knees go to the sky. Our hands cup together. This is boat. So this is sign language for boat. For boat pose in yoga, our hands go underneath. We always look behind us, making sure there's nothing back there in case we get a flat tire for any reason. But we can lift one leg up, and then we can take the other leg up. And then for boat pose, we can take both legs together, and our knees can go to the sky. If you totally have this, you can let go. If you even have it more, you can straighten your legs, but you can't see my face, so I will bend my knees. Or there's all kinds of things that we can do in boat pose. We can row our boat. So if you like to get some ab work in, this is always a good one. Very good. And then from there, we can just take our legs straight out. And I always like to just kind of do a little stretch forward. We're going to swing our legs around and go on our knees. And then from here, we're going to go to child's pose. So sign language for child is like, here you're making it small, a child's pose. So we start in hero pose, forward fold, our hands go out and our head goes down. My head's not going down because I'm going to look at you, but your heads can go down. And in child's pose, we can take a nice deep breath, which is always a good place to start. And then from here, we're going to our hands and knees. So I'm going to move back, and actually I'm going to move a little bit to the side at times as well. So we're going to go into cat and cow. So our cat pose is like a cat that has whiskers. So sign language is like we're holding our whiskers. So cat pose. Our hands go on our mat, our knees are on our mat, round our back over for our cat pose. And you can meow if you want. We're here to have some fun. And then cow pose is one of my favorites. It's so much fun. We take our hands here like we have cow horns. So cow is here. So our hands go back on our mat. We arch our back. Our belly tries to touch the mat, but it will not because our arms are straight. And we can go into cow pose and go moo. Very good. So let's round that back over again into cat pose, and we go meow. And then we arch our back and we're going into cow pose. So from here, we're going to move into downward dog. So sign language for down is we're taking our middle finger and thumb. No, I'm sorry, downward. We're pointing down, dog. Downward dog. So our hands go together. Our hands go on the mat. Our toes curl under. Our hips go to the sky. And now we're in our downward dog. And let's take a nice deep breath in down dog. Breathing in and breathing downward dog. We're walking our feet in and we're rolling up tall. So now we are in mountain pose. So we take our fists, and I'm just going to come a little closer so I can show you mountain. So here's our mountain pose. So mountain pose, palms are forward. My usual cues are belly buttons in. We have a rainbow under our chin. We have a crown on our head. And let's just take a deep breath there. Let's do one more. Very good. So we are going to do a sun salutation, a kid's sun salutation, not a grown-up. The grown-up ones look a little different. So we're taking our fingertips together. We circle sun. So here's sun. All right, so here's our sun salutation. We reach up tall and we say, hello, sun. Reach your arms around like a great big sun. Our hands go on the mat. Maybe we walk it back to plank. Planks are so good for us. And we can even take a deep breath in plank if you want. Bend our knees, release our toes, and we go down to our belly. And then from here, we're going to go to cobra pose. And cobra is a snake. So we're taking our two fingers and we kind of bend them like fangs. So snake comes right out from our nose and our mouth. Snake pose. So here's our cobra. Ready? We're just pressing up a little bit. Snake. Very good. Hands go back by our side. We're going back to child's pose. Curl our toes under. Lift to downward dog. And from our downward dog, let's walk it back into mountain pose. Very good. So we're up nice and tall. And let's take our hands to peace pose and take another deep breath in. So the next pose we're going to do is moon, crescent moon. So moon is kind of like a C right by our head, and here's moon. So for us, we're going to take our hands to the sky, and we're just reaching over to one side, nice lateral stretch, and then we'll reach over to the other side. Good job. Let's do that one more time. Moon. Our crescent moon pose. And then let's take our hands back to peace pose, taking a nice deep breath in. Very good. Back to mountain. So now we're going to go into warrior one. So we take two thumbs, just like this, and we're putting them here. This is soldier. There's no warrior in ASL. So I chose soldier. So this was my choice to do this, and I think it's easy for kids to learn. Warrior one. So warrior one, we're taking our hands on our hip, take one leg back. So our hips are square, knee is bent, and we bring our warrior one up. Very good. We all look good in warrior one. This is great. Let's take a nice breath in here. And with my kids, I always like to clap my hands together, bring them back to peace pose, and breathe in again. Let's do warrior one on the other side. Hands on our hips, leg goes back, knee over toe, bringing those arms up. Very good. Warrior one. Clapping those hands together and bringing it back to peace pose. Take a deep breath in. It feels good to take a couple deep breaths. So we're moving into chair pose. So our chair pose, we're having two fingers together and it goes over like this. Chair. So our chair pose, feet are together, knees are together, we bend our knees, almost like we're sitting in an invisible chair. Very good. And our hands can come on up here if we want. Chair pose looks like it's super easy. It's actually a lot of work. So if you feel like you need to get out of it at any point, just come on out. Very good. Oh, that was a good chair pose. And then come on up. And now we're moving into warrior two. So just as we did before, here's our thumbs, warrior two. All right, so here we go. We're hopping to one side, and the toes go to the top of our mat, and we bend our knee, belly buttons in super strong, and our arms go out, and here's our warrior two. Very good. And then we're gonna straighten our front leg, bring our arms around so our pointer fingers are out, and we're going to triangle. So all you do for sign language is draw a triangle. Arms go out, and we're reaching our hand a little lower than our knee, maybe our ankle, but if we get wiggly, we can just be here at our knee. Very good. So we don't need to fall to the ground. Sometimes we do that by accident, and I'll explain that here in a minute. Let's go back up to warrior two and go to the other side. Hands go on our hips, hop to the other side. Big toe goes to the top of the mat, all the toes actually. Bend that knee and arms go out. Warrior two. So now we're moving into triangle. We take our arms out, straighten that front leg, hand goes down by our knee or to the ground. Yeah, so we're here, very good. And then we're returning back to warrior two. And let's just go to mountain. How many steps you need to get there is fine. That's good. Now we're gonna go to warrior three. And our warrior three, I have a yoga reminder that I always like to do. So our arms go out to the sky, and then they go to the side. And our yoga reminder for kids is this: I control my body, I control my voice. So sometimes we need that yoga reminder. So our warrior three, we're looking out, and we're just gonna go to a little baby warrior three right now, because we don't need to do a big one, we just need to work on balancing. So when we do this, we don't need to fall to the floor. If we get wiggly, we put our foot down. I can reset, I can try again. So we can go to the other side as well, opening our arms out, making sure our eyes have focus somewhere on one thing. And then we go to the other side with our warrior three. And if we get wiggly, all we do is say, I can reset, I can try again. And that's really important for us to remember. The next pose that we're going to do is star pose, one of my favorite poses. So we bring our arms out. We're gonna go just like this. This is star. So here's our star, and we bring it up, and our stars are sparkling. I don't know if you can see me in the video. So from here, let's take one hand to the ground, one to the sky. So this is a nice thoracic twist. Very good. And then come on up in our star pose, twist the other way. Very good. And then we come on up, and we're gonna bend into goddess pose. And bend. Maybe we count 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we hop from star pose, and we go to mountain pose. So then we hop to star pose, and then we go to mountain pose, and then we go to star, and mountain, and star, and mountain. Oh my goodness, it can get kind of crazy when we do that. We're gonna go into another balance pose. This is tree pose. So sign language for tree is our elbow is here and our hand goes out. Tree. So here's our tree. So we take our hands down. We always start in mountain. That's our nice foundational pose. Take our hands to peace pose. Take a deep breath in. Press one foot into the ground, and then our other foot goes to the side. So our tree can be little, it can be bigger. If you want to go bigger, you can. Miss Ann sometimes gets wiggly, so remember, I can put my foot down and reset. We can even have a tree this little, right here. So however, whatever works for you. So our tree sometimes grows branches, and maybe if you can peek outside, maybe you have some blooms on your tree or some leaves on your tree. Very good. And then we bring our arms up to the sky and come on down. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Press our other foot into the ground. And now we're going to go to the other side. So here's our tree pose. Remember, our eyes have to focus on one thing. We can't look around and balance. We always have to have one thing to focus on and never, ever, ever look around. Just like when you're in school and you have a worksheet or a test or an assignment at your desk, you're looking right at it and it's laser focus. So this is where we practice our laser focus, is in our balance poses. So here's our laser focus, and we're in our tree pose, and let's just take one deep breath and take our Very good. I always like to roll my shoulders after balance poses. Just kind of loosen anything up that may have gotten a little tighter. So now let's go on our belly. So we're just going on our belly. So we take a great big breath in. Taking our hands down to the mat, and we're gonna go on our belly. So we're gonna go into bow pose. Bow pose, we bend our knees. So you can see my feet back there, which don't go parallel very well. They kind of turn out on their own. We grab our feet and we're pressing our feet away and lifting up tall. So some options would be just one leg at a time. The other arm is straight out. But you can try this at home and just see what works best. So here's our bow pose for today. Very good. We take a deep breath in. Gently release our feet so they don't sling back. And we're going to come up and go back to child's pose. Swing our legs around. Our feet go in front and our knees have a bend and our hands are behind us. So now we're going to do wind washers. Wind washers. So we're just going back and forth. And we've done this in a previous video. So our wind washers can help us calm down, especially when we need to calm down and we don't know how. So slow rhythmic movement starts to take our system down. Starts to slow us down. We've had our big poses and we've had our fun for today with yoga. So now we start to slow down. Very good. So if you want, you can pause the video if you need a few more wind washers in there. If not, we're going to come up to Sukhasana, or easy pose, or crisscross applesauce, and sit up tall. So we're going to learn one more breath today. This is flower breath, so flower, and it's flower breath. So we take our hands together, and we're going to open them like this. And we super glue our pinkies and thumbs together and open those three middle fingers. So this is a flower in yoga, and flower breath helps us just take some of those few deep breaths, maybe calm us down, help us focus. So we're going to smell our flower because flowers smell really good. So here we go. Let's do 2 more. We can take our hands back to peace pose, and we're going to cross them and go into resting pose. So resting pose for kids is either on your back, you can lay on your side, you can go on your belly. Maybe it's just sitting in crisscross applesauce quietly for a few moments. Resting pose is going to look different for every single child, and that's okay. So you can pause the video and go into your resting pose, and when you're ready to come out of your resting pose, we will come up and say our namaste. So I hope you had a good resting pose and some time just to relax. So here is namaste. It means the light in me sees and honors the light in you. And in sign language, it starts like this. So we take our middle finger, and I always say to the kids, we're starting a spark. So the light, and then we take our hand, and we're going to go like this. And as I tell the children in my classes, because it resonates with them, we're taking our hands and dipping them in a cup of chocolate. They seem to like that. So the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go share all of this sign language with your moms and dads and see if you can learn some more. If you want to comment on it, the post or whatever with the new sign language that you learned, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Have an awesome, awesome day. Bye.